morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of voice of radio. So today, I want to tell you about Galarian Slowbro. You see, we've not ever actually seen a non-V single prize Galarian Slowbro, and I really like this first one. I think it's an awful lot of fun, and I think it's one we should be having a little bit of a chat about. It looks really cool. Okay, more kind of fun and dumb than really cool, but I still stand by it. So what we've got here, and our translation actually comes from Joe from Cerebi.net. I know, bit weird, right? And what we got here in terms of base, or the Cerebi, great website, you should be checking it out on a regular basis. What we got is 130 HP, which is good. 120, 130 is one of those dividing lines in the Pokemon TCG. It is awesome to see we are on the right side of that line, so go team. The retreat cost is not good, because retreat cost of free means you don't get free retreat with Air Balloon, which makes me sad, but you don't get extra HP with buff padding, which makes me sad. And similarly, the weakness to fighting, I mean, look, if you've been watching me videos lately, you'll have noticed there's like a million Pokemon that are weak to fighting. I keep pointing out that Eternatus and Pikachu and Zekrom are both weak to fighting, as is Crobat. It's a bad weakness, but there's so many Pokemon I'm telling you that about. It's such a bad weakness. You're talking lightning Pokemon, colorless Pokemon, and any darkness Pokemon that are poison in the video game. Poison Pokemon now come through as darkness with a weakness to fighting, because of the whole ground thing in the video game. It's not good! Never mind. You're a darkness Pokemon though, so Black Market Prism Star can make sure you don't give up a prize. It means it will work nicely in Eternatus decks. It means that you can get free retreat using Hiding Darkness Energy, so it ain't too bad, ladies and gentlemen. It ain't too bad. And weakness on Oricorio GX. I don't like Oricorio GX. Probably because I've never played it in it. Well, that's a lie. I don't play it in many decks, and people keep using it against me, and they keep doing well with it, and it makes me sad. I don't know. You get to KO it, and that makes me super happy. But what does it do? Well, according to the lovely Joe from Cerebi.net, for 1 Darkness Energy, both players' active Pokemon are now poisoned. Nice! Now, look, obviously poisoning yourself isn't a good thing. It means you're losing a bunch of HP, etc. But I like that you can control this. So, for instance, if you think your opponent is going to switch out the active, you can use Dust Island. Dust Island says that if your opponent switches a poison Pokemon with an item card or a trainer card, the new active Pokemon will be poisoned in the same way as the old one. I.e., if they're quadruple poisoned, then the new one will be quadruple poisoned. And fine, Dust Island is a stadium card, it's double-sided, it will work for you as well. But you're prepared for it. You know this is coming, so you can try and make sure it doesn't hurt you all that much, so ha 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 to your opponent. Never mind, they'll probably go over it one day, and if they don't, well, hopefully you won the game. It means you can play things like the Toxicroak from Sword and Shield, which will add 2 damage counters to your opponent's poison, and that will stack. So yeah, fine, your opponent and yourself are both poisoned, but you aren't equally poisoned. Your opponent is more poisoned than you. As a little bit of a side note, Galarian Slowbro V's got an ability that poisons if it's in the active. This has got the first attack, which poisons both active. I mean, it is a poison Pokemon in the game. They are leaning really hard into the poison. And I'm going to be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm into it. This seems cool to me. But there is an even better attack here. 1 darkness, 2 colorless energy, 100 damage. If this Pokemon is affected by a special condition, this attack does 100 more damage. Nice! It's 200 damage for free energy on a single prize Pokemon. That's awesome! Like, really, genuinely awesome. You can't tell me this doesn't look good. Well, I suppose you can tell me it doesn't look good. But shall we say I'm not going to be particularly receptive. Except for the whole special condition thing. You see, if you can get around the special conditions, and that's a fairly big if, this is brilliant. If you can just do free energy 200 damage, it's wonderful. but it only works if you are affected by a special condition. If you're not affected by a special condition, then things get an awful lot more awkward because you're doing 100 for free energy. And the deal with it is very simple. 100 for free energy, no, not good enough. 200 for free energy, yes, let's do this. So how do we go about getting these special conditions on? Well, I mean, your first attack is a good one. The problem I find with the first attack is that it goes wrong pretty quickly. Like, if your opponent KOs you, you're done. Like, if they get a KO, then you bring in a new Pokemon, but you're no longer poisoned, so it's not going to work like you might have hoped that it would have done. I mean, if you really want to go for the big play here, how about Yellhorn? Like, Yellhorn is an item card that confuses both active Pokemon. Now, that is you and your opponent. Now, the good news is your opponent will be confused. It means they've got to flip heads to attack. Yay! And the good news is it means you do 200 damage. Yay! And you don't take any damage back like you would if you're poisoned. If you flip it heads. If you don't flip a heads, then it's, well, it's not as good. If I'm perfectly honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, at that stage, it's just not as good. And the thing is, there are plenty of Pokemon out there that will affect themselves by special conditions. One of my absolute favourites being the Kamala from Unified Minds. For 1 colourless energy, you go to sleep, which is lovely. And then it's got an ability where if it's asleep between turns, you put 6 damage counters on your opponent's active Pokemon. It's so dumb, and I love it so much. But there really aren't many Pokemon that can put special conditions on this. And that's a problem. You've got your own attack, and you've got Yellhorn, and then, of course, your opponent might be trying to put special conditions on you. But one of my biggest issues here is it's just not that easy to put special conditions onto a Galarian Slowbro. Yellhorn will do it quite nicely. In Expanded, we've got that amazing Imakuni card that will only confuse you, not your opponent. But confusions, and to be fair, right, the only good ones here are like Burn and Poison. Because Burn puts 2 damage counters on, but then you can flip out of it. If you flip heads, you're no longer burned. And Poison puts 1 damage counter on between turns, but at least it's only 1. And that's about it. Like, Sleep you can't attack. Confusion you got to flip to attack. Paralysis you can't attack. So, what can you do to burn or poison yourself? Not much, unless I'm missing something. If I am, let me know in the comment section. But there's a lot of Pokemon that will give themselves special conditions. We've got Yellhorn that will affect both actives, but it's hard to actually hurt your active Pokemon. There's just not many cards that do that. So we're left with this really good card, and it's got an amazing artwork done by the lovely Mitsuhiro Arita. And it's got huge potential here. 200 damage for free energy. But you've got to affect yourself with a special condition. And I think if we get a stadium that poisons both active players or something in the future, then this would be awesome. I just don't think that's where we are right now. I don't think we've really got the cards to take advantage of this unless you want to flip with Yellhorn. And I love the idea of flipping with Yellhorn in a fun little game on PTCGO. I don't love flipping with Yellhorn in like an actual proper tournament. That doesn't sound like fun. Now, if we still had Skuntank G with Poison Structure, maybe. Once during your turn, if you have a Stadium card in play, each active Pokemon is now poisoned, other than SP Pokemon. So Skuntank would work quite nicely to poison you, and then you could do 200. With Skuntank, I'd love this. But Skuntank's so old, it's not even legal in Expanded. And that's kind of my problem here. Lots of potential, and if we get a way to burn or poison yourself in future, keep an eye on this Pokemon. Otherwise, it's use the first attack and hope you're still there next turn, which you might not be. Or use Yell Horn and hope you flip heads. And to be fair, if you poison both active Pokemon and your opponent's having a slow start, you can just do 200, 200, 200, 200 and just run through and win the game. That absolutely will work. But no, ladies and gentlemen, sorry. I'm going to have to give it between 2 and 3 Wassies. We don't give half Wassies. That would be barbaric. With a very stern note here that if we do get a way to poison or burn your own active in the future, I will feel rather differently about this indeed. But I'd like to know how you feel about it. So let me know in the comment section, would ya? Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassie, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.